Hey, what's up, everybody? You are watching and listening to Radio Faith, episode number 32. And I have my good friend on East.
Yes.
What's up, Esau?
What's up, man? It's good to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
Hey, man, thanks for being on the
Yeah.
show. Really appreciate it. Hey, it's we've been talking about this for a while, and I'm glad we're
Yeah.
finally doing
I
it.
know,
It's been
man.
good.
I know.
It's
It's
been,
it's it feels good to just finally kind of like take a break from everything we've both been doing and just
yeah,
chill, man, and just have this, you know what I mean?
that's good. So, talking about everything we've both been doing, what
Yeah.
have you been up to?
Man, where do I even start, you know? Um well, some of you guys know, maybe some people don't. I kind of did a crazy thing and I took a leap of faith, and me and a group of guys who are my business partners, we launched a creative house company where we offer photography, videography, studio time. We consult churches on like how to make their broadcast better, or um, web designing. We pretty much are everything you need regarding production. We offer that. So, man, it's been crazy. We just closed on our location, on our new location. Thank God. Crazy because we talked about it like maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and literally the next week and a half, God already had the place for us, and we went and we signed off on it, and man, it's just been taking off. You know, we officially haven't launched, but we are getting it ready. So it's been crazy, man. It's been good. It's been I can say I'm living the dream in my dream as far. But it's been good, man. God has been faithful. God has been it's been so good to me and my wife. So man, we're blessed just to
That's
be
awesome.
here. Yeah.
That's awesome. So, what's the name of y'all's company studio?
Aspire Warehouse Studios.
Aspire
Yes,
Aspire
so we're
Warehouse
based
Studio.
out here in Rosenberg. Uh-huh.
That's
It's
awesome.
uh it's awesome, bro. It's awesome.
That's so cool, man. I'm so excited for you and the rest of the crew.
Yeah.
We had for those who have been following for a while. I think about 2 weeks ago we had
Hmm.
KJ, right, and he's one of the guys.
Right.
And
Yeah.
what we're gonna do once we get rolling here on Radio Faith, we're gonna have more people on from
Yeah.
Aspire, and then we're gonna have a collective. So stay tuned for that. We're gonna have all the guys and gals from Aspire.
Hmm.
They're going to be here on Radio Faith, and it's going to be really good. So what I want to do is I want to show everybody that's watching a little bit of what y'all do, and I'm
Okay.
I'm really proud and excited that Aspire is one of Radio Faith's sponsors. So
Yeah.
we're going to show you a clip, and then we're just going to talk about it. And hey, this is live, so feel free to leave a comment, ask any
All right, let's
questions you
go.
want, and
Okay.
we'll go. Here we go. Man, that was good.
Yeah.
That was awesome. So hey, so Aspire, for those of you just join us, I have Esau on today, and he's one of the part of the team that is owns and operates Aspire Warehouse Studios. And what you just saw was a clip of the services they provide. Tell us a little bit about what they saw there and the artists that you were working in that clip.
So in the clip, we were working. So we've been working with this local artist that goes by Veray. She's a personally good friend of mine and my wife's, and she's an upcoming artist. And we believe in her vision. We believe in her calling, that what God has called her to do. So we've been working with her, and we just shot. Actually, we just finished shooting her second music video in Galveston over the weekend. We were out there, and so we shot the video for Island Breeze. So be on the lookout for that. That song
Yeah,
is dope. If you haven't streamed it,
yeah. Go to
um,
Spotify and check it out. If
yes,
you haven't,
yes,
that's a Viray Viray. We actually
yes,
interviewed her. I interviewed her
right.
last week, so check it out. I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, so we shot the behind the scenes on the clip that you guys watched. That was her actual first music video that we were able to produce for her. We produced it at a church in Houston, and the crazy thing was it was supposed to be kind of like just a one angle thing, one camera, one light. That's it. But it turned into a big production, and man, thankfully it came out like we went in without knowing what to expect.
Yeah.
I know I drew a storyboard in, but technical things always happen, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, George, you know how that goes. But thank God everything went as planned, everything went smoothly, and what you guys saw was just the behind the scenes of her upcoming, which should be dropping in the next couple of weeks, actually.
That's cool.
We're excited. Yeah, we're so excited about that. And the crazy thing was that was my first time actually directing a shoot. I've always been behind the camera, shooting B-roll, but I've never actually directed something. And God gave me the opportunity to direct it, and took what I had in my head and took it down to the guys, and they killed it.
That's
So,
awesome.
man, stay tuned for the more. We're actually releasing another behind the scenes that we shot. We were able to get on some jet skis on a yacht. Man, it was crazy. It was crazy. We had some drones coming in. It was wild, man.
Yeah, I
So,
saw the. I saw.
yeah, your
Go to
brother was
go.
there. Your
Yeah.
brother, we caught the crazy thing. So I'll give you guys a sneak peek. We got his brother George. For a lot of people who don't know Josh, that's George's brother. He is also one of the members of Aspire, which is I'm super excited to have him. He's so talented. We caught him doing a backflip, but we do have some behind the scenes where he does fall down. So we're gonna be releasing that. So guys, be on the lookout for that. So it's gonna be dope, man. I'm excited.
Yeah. It was so good. Yeah. So if you're just joining us, I'm talking to Esau. He's
Yeah.
one of the leading guys at Aspire Warehouse Studios. You can check him out on Instagram. Is the handle at Aspire Warehouse?
Yes, yes. So everything is at Expire, Twitter, Instagram, even our YouTube channel, our Facebook. Everything is at Aspire Warehouse.
Cool. And they're based here in Rosemary. We were just talking about a
Yeah.
music video that he and the crew shot for Viray, who was a guest for last week that we had her
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
And go to their Instagram, their Facebook, and you check out their behind the scenes footage. It's pretty cool. And
Yeah.
like he was just saying, I'm really excited about the video. He and Esau and I and the rest of the crew, we've been just talking about it back and forth, and
Yeah.
it's going to be really good. Now you talked about you talked about technical difficulties earlier,
Oh
which
yeah.
both of us or anyone who's in production of any kind who's ever held a camera knows exactly what that's
Yeah.
about. So let's go a little bit back. I think what would this be? Maybe 10 months ago, how you and I first got connected, and
Yeah.
then how I guess our friendship has evolved since then and grew since then. So the first time we met was at church. You
Right.
want to meet good
Right.
people? Go to
Yeah.
church. And
That's true.
I think I walked into a rehearsal. I think it might have been you were going through a program called Infuse
Hmm.
that they have at Anchor Bend Church here in Rosenberg.
Yeah.
And that's when I first met you, and you were stepping in as the drummer. So along with video production, Esau is an amazing drummer.
Yeah.
Talk
Thank
a
you,
little
man.
bit,
Thank you.
yeah, man. Talk a little bit about that, just being a drummer, a musician, and also how it's transitioned or helped you in being creative with videography.
Yeah, man. So I come from a household of musicians. My dad plays acoustic. My brother is actually the worship leader at my dad's church, and he plays piano. And then on my mom's side, her dad played accordion and bajo sexto. So I always grew up with music. Um, Music was a big part of my life growing up as a kid. And the crazy thing of how I started drumming was, so my dad was a pastor at a small church in Sugarland, and they didn't have any musicians. You know, a lot of Hispanic churches, unfortunately, we go through that struggle. We have awesome equipment, but no musicians, or you have not so good equipment and musicians. You know, so they didn't have a drummer, and one day I was just like, man, let me try this. And not gonna lie, man, at first I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I hated it, in fact. And so my dad just kind of encouraged me to keep doing it. And by the age of 15, I actually really got into music. I started writing my own music. I also write. Um, and so it just got from there where it was like, you know what, let me make connections with people out here. Let me see how far this can go. And so I started working with other artists, secular and in the Christian scene as well. And it just grew from there, man. It grew from there, and me and my wife, I just recently got married back in November. So I met my wife at the last church I was at. I was staffed at a church in Pasadena, and she was one of the worship leaders there. And so when we got married, you know, I started asking God, okay, God, lead us wherever it is that you want us to go. And so God, you know, led us to Anchor Band. And the crazy thing was the way I got to Anchor Band was a friend, KJ. He invited me to well, I think it was a Saturday prayer service. I didn't know what to expect. So I said, yeah, you know what, I'll go. And so I went, and the moment I entered the doors, it was like, yeah, this is home. So we got there, and you know, we went through the whole infuse, and we've been there since what, maybe the beginning of like COVID and all that. So we've been there, and I've been drumming, and recently I got back into videography because, so the way I got into that was I used to do it for some artists, a couple of artists, and I did it more of as a hobby. It wasn't really nothing serious. I would pick up the phone and just kind of, I guess, vlog them. And so I got pretty good at it. I started buying like these lenses for my iPhone and like stabilizers. And so I pretty much grew out of like the iPhone, which is nothing bad with it because there's some dope stuff that you can do with an iPhone. And then I started getting into more like cameras and DSLRs and all that stuff. And so at the church at Anchor Bend, they needed somebody to shoot for the services. And I didn't want to say that I knew how to do it, but KJ, shout out to KJ, KJ kept pushing me to do it. And so it kind of reignited that love for creating content and just, I guess, shooting things from a different perspective that other people don't really see. And it kind of like now that when I watch a movie, I'm like, oh, I like how they did that. Or I can't even watch a movie normal anymore because now I'm like looking at different angles and stuff. So that's how that came about, and that's how I met George, which is, you know, we now our friendship is growing, and you know we're here now. He's interviewing me, so that's super dope.
Yeah, I remember. So as Esau said, as everybody knows, in March here in the States, the COVID came,
Yeah.
and it forced churches to go online. And if you didn't have an online presence as a church,
Yeah.
you had to have one. So back in at Anchor Ben, both of us, me being on the production team, and then Esau being on the worship team, we went to full scale production of going pre-recording services and the way that all goes. And I don't know who told me that you knew camera, and I'm bring him on. And I know you
Probably
started,
KJ.
and it was somebody from the worship team. I was like, man, please, we need as many camera people as we can get.
Yeah.
And then you just came in. You took ownership of doing what we call the roaming camera. The guy that,
Yeah.
if you ever see concerts, it's the person that's on the stage getting all those cool shots of people
Right.
drumming and close-ups on the guitar. And then you really crushed it with that. And I think it's from there, if correct me if I'm wrong, that everybody that's involved with Aspire, that it was the production that we did through COVID
Hmm.
that really brought Aspire to the forefront and say like,
Yeah.
hey,
Yes.
we're doing this and we
Yeah.
can, y'all can do it. Y'all do it great.
You're right.
And, let's move forward with that. So talk a little bit about that, how, um, what it was like for the crew to realize this is bigger
Yeah.
than what we think it is. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, man. So I'm personally, I just want to thank all the team that's behind Expire, and is I could not do it without them. Really, it's just point blank simple. I could not do it without them. Even my wife. My wife is she handles like the artist great. She takes care, like she's attentive to details, which is so helpful. With the makeup and the hair and all that stuff. But yeah, so when I first came up with the idea, it's crazy because I wanted to talk to KJ about it, about the idea of, hey, we can possibly do this as a career. Why not? We're doing it every Sunday, you know, every week. Let's give it a shot. So I talked to him. Then he pretty much said, hey, you know what? I've been wanting to do this, and so some of the people that are at Anchor Bend are so amazing. We have Leilani is a great photographer. She also does videography. She does all of our behind the scenes footage. And then Justin, he is from Hope City. He edits all the behind the scenes, and he also shoots B-roll and whatever it is that we need. He shoots, and they kill it. And then we have Josh, who is, man, I don't even need, you guys already know Josh is amazing. And so when I kind of presented the idea to them, they were like, man, heck yeah, we want to do this. And God just started opening doors for us. We were in contact with, we just got in contact with I Am Justified, which is another local artist here out in Houston we're going to be shooting with.
That's awesome.
And it's crazy because when I first told God, I was like, okay, you want me to do this? I want you to open the doors that I'm not going to be able to open myself.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, as much as we want to with our own strength, we're not going to get very far. And sometimes we might, but our strength isn't going to last us.
Hmm.
So when I presented this idea to them, it kind of just like we were on the same mindset, and we're like, let's do it. And now we've been doing it, and it's these guys are killing it. Like I can create a storyboard and just give it to them, and they crush it. Like I
That's awesome.
pretty much just give them like key of what I want, and they just go out and kill it, man. And
That's so good.
that just goes to kind of show where talent is just like, especially with these guys, they're very, it's like a rare talent that they have. I don't really know how to explain it, but it's just so amazing to have them. I'm so blessed to have them on my side. Even like KJ and Mike and Justin and Joel, they're like amazing. They're amazing. And it started as a creative, more like let's get together and just create content. And then it just came up to, let's just start a company. And so here we are. We have a building that we're about to open, and God has just been good, man. God has really, really been good. Sometimes I go and think, and I'm like, I don't deserve this. There's people who are better than me. There's people who have more experience than me. But I think it goes to where if you just simply say yes to God and just obey to what He's asking of you,
Hmm.
I think the doors just completely just start opening, whether like when you least expect it.
That's awesome.
That's,
That
yeah,
that's so good. Talking about your y'all's building, I had the opportunity to go check
yeah.
it out yesterday, which is, I mean, it's awesome. It's like I said, I'm excited to see everything
Mhm.
that's going to come out of there. Um, and I mean, I know, man, like you talked about the talent, and then there's the favor and blessing of God on you and the crew, that y'all aren't going to be in that place for long. That it's going to get bigger, and you're going to
Yeah.
outgrow that really quickly. I mean, it's awesome just connecting with I Am Justified as well. I mean, we had the opportunity of working with him at Anchor Band. I think it was last year, the year before last, with the youth group. He's just an amazing guy,
Yeah, he is.
and I love how you said that. You know, when God put this vision in your heart, and you pretty much said, well, you know, this is the vision that you gave me, so I'm gonna trust you to
Mm-hmm.
open those doors. And like you said, it's just us faithfully walking through and trusting that He's gonna bring the
Yeah.
people alongside us to make it through. You know, one of the threads that I'm hearing with you and in past interviews is how you and the others that I've interviewed have we've all gone through COVID and we're still going through it.
Yeah.
But y'all didn't let that knock you down. And if
Mm-mm.
it did, it was only temporary.
Right.
But that
Right.
you looked up to God and you moved forward with whatever vision that He placed in your heart. Was there ever a time, if you can share on this, that during COVID or even now that there was maybe a low point? I mean, we've been talking about the high points. Was there at any time a low point, and if so, how did you get through that?
Yeah, man. I think one of the things that has affected a lot of people was financially.
Mm,
I took a hit in my job. My wife also, she works at the Texas Children's Hospital. We took hits where it was like we didn't know what to expect. We didn't know when we were going back to work. But God always provided. You know, it was crazy because there was times where I didn't know how I was going to pay some bills,
mm,
and yet they were getting paid somehow, some way. You know, God was just making a way to put food on the table, and just just man, the health is at the end of the day, it was like the health. I think the health was the most scariest thing
mm,
because I would watch videos of how it would affect people.
mm-hmm.
And it's a scary thing, man. It's a scary thing. You know, my wife works at a hospital, so she
Yeah,
was running the risk of always getting infected, and then coming home. Pretty much, you know, when someone has it, you might as well think your whole family has it. So that for us was a struggle every day. Didn't know what to expect every day, you know. But financially, God has supported us.
yeah,
Thank God I'm back to working, and my wife is back to her normal hours. And we we as a newly wed couple, we you know how they always say your first year is always the hardest, but this was the hardest because of the situation that the world was facing. You know,
yeah,
how many couples can say, "Oh, we got married in our first year, this happens," you know?
yeah,
So for that, it was a struggle for us. Even it tested our faith as well. You know, I think a lot of people's faith has been tested during this time, not knowing what to expect, not knowing if you're gonna eat tomorrow, not knowing if you might get contaminated, or whatever the case may be.
yeah,
That has been for us. We've seen God's hand and through all of this, financially, even in our relationship. I think this drew us closer together. In a time like this, it drew us closer to God. You know, one thing my wife and I have always said is the way that we get closer together is if we get closer to God.
mm,
So
that's good.
this pretty much kind of like opened up our eyes to see, what can we do to get closer to each other, but also get closer to God. So it tested us and it challenged us through different aspects of our marriage and our relationship with our family and with friends, even. So yeah, we took it pretty hard. There were some low points where we're like, man, we don't know what we're gonna do.
Mm,
And then there was a moment where we thought we were contaminated, and that was a scary thing, man. Not knowing um, if your test results are gonna come back positive or negative. But thank God, God was always had us in His hands. So
yeah,
we were able to make it through, and I know a lot of people might be going through it right now, and just know that God is always there, man. When you least expect it, things unexpectedly happen. Just like your bills might get paid unexpectedly, someone might bless you with some food, or And it's always a reminder every time we talk about it of how good God has been
Yeah,
in this
that's so good.
time.
That's so
Yeah,
good, man. Yeah, you're right. A lot of people talk about how the first year is the hardest
yeah.
year in marriage. I mean, y'all just got married last year, and then bam,
In November. Yeah,
yeah, pandemic right there, first
right.
year. So it's like it's sped up like 3 years, and y'all have all this experience
Exactly.
to go through. But it's so good, like you just talked about, just staying firm in faith and walking together
Hmm.
in Christ. That you are both walking the same direction towards the same person, towards Christ, and that's what's really held y'all
Yeah.
together and y'all walking along. In our experience, my wife and I, we've been married 10 years, and our anniversary was 10 days after the lockdown. So
Mhm.
that was a bummer. We had a 10-year anniversary, big anniversary plan, and then the lockdown happened, and we were planning to go on a cruise ship. For 10 years my wife has wanted to go on a cruise
Oh
ship, and
man.
I was like, nah, we're not going on a cruise ship. But so okay, we're gonna go on a cruise ship, and then bam, COVID
Bam. Yep.
happened, and what are cruise ships, what are those?
Exactly.
um but it's been a crazy year. Everyone has been going through it, and we've all
Yeah.
been feeling it in different ways. But just love your words of encouragement, and looking towards God and just trusting Him
Hmm.
through the process. He didn't none of this caught him by surprise.
Right. Right.
And it really shouldn't. We can get to a place of starting to doubt Him,
Hmm.
but that's where, as you said, where our faith is really tested.
Yeah. Yeah.
And faith isn't seen without
Oh
some
yeah.
kind of trial to pull through, man. And
Right.
just like you said earlier, having a good team beside you. If you're watching or listening, you're married, your number one team member is your
Right.
spouse.
Yes. Yes.
And as Esau mentioned earlier, just talking about all the guys and gals from Aspire, that's your bigger community, and you got to have that. You got to have
Right.
that to move forward, man. It's so good. So you're a drummer,
Yeah.
you're a videographer, you're stepping into the role of director. What is what is something that you want to see personally, or maybe a passion project that you want to work on, that now you have the tools and the team to be able to do that?
Yeah. So I something God has put in my heart. You know, a lot of people say, "Oh yeah, God put this in my heart," but no, God really did put this in my heart. Was to work on maybe like a film about this whole this whole season that we've been going through.
Mm,
Getting the perspective of a married couple, of a young married couple, and an older married couple, and just seeing the different perspectives of people. Uh, it's something that um, I think the world needs to see. Maybe uh, just the fact that some of the marriages have been affected, uh, maybe financially, or even some can't even be in the same room anymore. You know, I that's something that God has really been putting in my heart, is to work on something like that, and share it, and share testimonies, and share um, different stories from different angles of a young couple and more experienced couple, and just kind of put it out there and see what the world thinks about, and it's something I've been writing it down and trying to see where God wants to take this. So that's something that is in the works. Um,
that's good.
Possibly in the next couple of months, we might start filming something like this. But yeah, that's a project that I want to put out, with these guys, with this group of guys, and just just see where that takes us.
That's good, man. That's good. Definitely seeing, you can look at the pandemic as a problem, or you can look at
Yeah,
it as as an opportunity. And those, I think those people that I've seen and talked to so far that are getting through it victoriously are
yeah,
looking at the pandemic as an opportunity.
right.
I mean, you can get lost in looking at things as a problem, but opportunity leads to different
Oh,
paradigm
definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely. For me during this time, it actually pushed me out of my comfort zone. To I mean, honestly, I wouldn't have been behind the camera if I didn't step out of my comfort zone, because my comfort zone was music. That's what I was good at. And so me stepping out and just reigniting that passion of creating concept from my head into a reality, and then on screens, it's something that God just reignited. And it's crazy because, so I was talking to a friend of mine at the shoot that we had, and I
Mhm.
was telling them how God is using videography to change my perspective on how I see things during this season. And so my focus was music, and God changed it to creating content,
Mm.
and He's using it to align certain things in my life, in my personal life, in my marriage, that maybe I didn't see at first, and He's using a lens um, to kind of look at the things that I did, that I was missing, or that maybe I overlooked. So yeah, man, it's been a great season. It's been a season of learning. It's been a season of uncomfort, because I've been uncomfortable. Honestly, I've been
Yeah.
uncomfortable, and I take it as a good thing. Because if your comfort, if you start getting relaxed and what you're doing, then kind of want to check yourself and see, am I really growing in this area, or am I really, how is this gonna benefit me in the long run? So
Yeah.
I always tell people, man, just go for it. You don't you lose, you lose. If you win, you win. You know.
That's good. Yeah, there's no I forgot who I was listening to today, and they said that there's no growth in the comfort zone.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's in discomfort that you
Yes.
learn
Yeah.
to grow. So if you're listening, watching right now, and you're just comfortable with the way things are, you might not be growing. There should, if you're
Exactly.
looking to grow, then there has to be some level of
Exactly.
discomfort. There's some people that just jumped on. Just hey, I'm talking to Esau. He is one of the leading guys out at Aspire Warehouse Studios. We'll be talking about music, video production, all kinds of things. And I'm gonna call you out, KJ. You just text me. No, my battery's not dying on my camera, not yet, but it might. We'll see what happens. Um, so total shift. There's no way to do a good segue. Tell me about that hat you're wearing. I just realized it's Space
Space
Jam.
Jam, man, it's like my favorite movie, man. It's I grew up on Space Jam. I know a lot of these kids nowadays don't like Space Jam. What is that? So it's a Michael Jordan movie, but they're making a part two with
I
LeBron
heard that.
James.
I
Yeah,
heard that.
should be coming out next year, I believe. But
That's so
yeah,
that's
Space
so
Jam is
cool.
like my favorite movie, man, of all time.
We just watched it, I think, last month or recently with my kids. It's a classic, man. It's so.
Yes.
Did you play? It was on Super Nintendo. I don't think it was Space Jam, but I think it was Looney Tunes basketball. It was something.
Oh yeah,
What was
yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
called? You know what I'm talking about?
Was
If you
it
know
on
what we're
Super
talking about,
Nintendo?
comment. I thought it was on Super Nintendo. Maybe it was on something else. If you know what we're talking about, comment in the
Yeah,
section
I
and
got
help us
comment
out.
because I can't remember, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, we would always be playing that Bugs Bunny getting the basketball in his ears and dunking that way. It was
Man,
it
it's
was
crazy because, so I mean, I grew up in the '90s, and I'm always gonna say the '90s cartoons will always be better than today's cartoons. My nephews they're obsessed with what is it, PJ Mask, or what is it called?
oh, PJ
PJ,
Masks. Yeah.
yes, that, and I'm like, what is that, man?
I
What is that?
I got a 7-year-old, 4-year-old, and 2-year-old, so I know exactly.
Yeah, and then they're obsessed with what is that other one? Um, Ryan's World. Ryan,
Ryan's.
he's like he's a YouTuber. He's a kid, but he creates like
Oh yeah,
content
yeah.
and toys. And
He has
I'm
like the
like,
goo or whatever.
yeah, yeah, he's like a toy guru. I'm like, man, I need to get on his level. Start creating some YouTube content like that.
These kids being YouTube influencers, making the big bucks.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome.
It's hard work, man. It's hard work. Let me tell you. Let me tell you,
Did
it's hard
you
work.
Did you see or have you seen that Netflix series with Michael Jordan, The Last Dance?
Yeah, yeah.
What'd you think about that?
It kind of like shows you like the team doesn't really care about the players. They just money, man. I'm like, you know what I mean? It's like, I
Yeah,
mean,
it's crazy.
it's a dope series. It's crazy. It's crazy. Um, but it kind of shows you like a different side of like people.
You talking about like the management, the way
Yeah, the
ownership
manage. Yeah,
management?
yeah.
Gotcha.
How they were
Yeah,
just trying to get rid of pretty much everybody, and then Michael was like, "Nope, I'm not playing for you guys."
yeah, yeah. So I'm not big into sports, but I appreciate a good story, and of course
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
everyone knows who Michael Jordan is.
Yeah,
Um, it was I have an appreciation for him as an athlete, just as a
yeah,
entrepreneur. Someone who's had goals and has reached his goals. But seeing that documentary, man, just opened my eyes. That one, like you talked about, the business behind sports, and then just the drive behind Michael Jordan.
yeah.
It's it's so inspiring just to see that he said that if there's a goal, he's gonna do whatever it takes
Hmm.
to get to fulfill that goal.
Yeah,
It's really really good. What are and we're just jumping all over the place, but I'm just going off the cuff. This is live, man. This is live.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
for sure, man.
what are your thoughts as being someone like you mentioned earlier who is now in the role of a director and you're looking at movies differently? What was your thoughts, or how did it impact you when you found out that Chadwick Boseman passed away
Oh
last
man,
month?
I didn't. To be honest, I didn't even know he was fighting this sickness, bro. Like I remember watching videos of people like kind of making fun of him because he was like losing weight,
Hmm.
but man, I didn't know he was going through this, and I don't know if part two is gonna be the same, man, without him.
Yeah.
Um, it's just it hits different, you know. It hits different because for the longest, I've always wanted to see a Black Panther movie, and then when they finally released it, I was like, oh yeah, they did it right. Um, but yeah, man, it took me by surprise when I heard that, and then just the fact of the way he died was
Hmm.
it's tragic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely, it's something to kind of just think on your personal life too. Just life is short, man.
Hmm.
Life is
Yeah.
just so short, and um, kind of I remember reflect on my life, and I was like, you know what, I want to be remembered as not by what I could do or what I offered people or my skill set or X, you know, I directed whatever videos, but as a person who was maybe someone was having a bad day and I just went up and talked to them and it made an impact in their life. You know, that's how I want to be remembered, as
That's good.
someone who was just caring and pushed everyone around me to just be better. And
Yeah.
that really is how what Aspire is, you know, is a group of creative people coming together and pushing each other, you know, pushing
Hmm.
each other to reach our full potential, you know, because I'm learning a lot from each and every single one of them. I'm not the greatest photographer, so I'm learning from Josh, I'm learning from Leilani, I'm learning from Justin, and vice versa, you know. And really, that's how I want to be remembered, is that guy who pushed me to become better and or pushed me out of my comfort zone.
That's good.
Um, yeah, man.
You might make me think of I think it's Pastor Jim that told us that people aren't going to remember you for what you do or what you say, but how you make
Yeah.
them feel.
Yep.
It's so important how you make them feel. And I love how being transparent and saying that you're not the greatest photographer or videographer, and so often and people get lost in thinking I have to be the best to
Yep.
make something happen. I know I get lost in that as well. But it says a lot about a person when they surround themselves with people that they know
Oh
are
yeah.
better than them,
For
because then
sure. For
you
sure.
can learn. Being someone who's now again taking on the lead of being a director and videographer with this crew, um, part of the learning process is having someone to learn from, mentors, whether personally or just professionally, someone that you look up to as a role model. Who are some directors that you aspire to be like, or you really connect with their work, or maybe a
Man,
movie or
there.
something?
Yo, yeah, for sure. Well, One, there is this guy at Anchor Band, Dan Rubottom, who I was having a conversation with him, and he started sharing like kind of his experience and what he's
Mhm.
done. And then he followed me on Instagram, so I started going through his like feed and stuff, and I was amazed of the things he has accomplished, and just the humbleness that he has is just like,
Mm.
wow, I want to be
Yeah.
like that, you know. Another Peter McKinnon. I mean, I know you know who Peter McKinnon is. His photography and just videography is like next
Mhm.
level.
Yeah.
Um, man, Spike Lee, an OG man, Spike Lee, definitely. I mean, just because of the way he carried himself with the movies he created, they're iconic now, you know.
Yeah.
And so I want to create things that people will remember, you know, um, years from now, even if it's something small.
Mhm.
I want to create something like that, man.
That's good. What would you say? Put you on the spot. What are your top three favorite movies,
Yeesh, man.
if you have? If you
Space
have.
Jam for sure. Space Jam. Um, the Gladiator is another one, man. The
With
Gladiator,
Russell Crowe.
yes.
Yeah, that's
And
good.
any of the Avenger movies, man. Any of them.
Okay.
Like, I don't have a favorite one. It's just they're all great, and it's just because of the cinematography those movies have is insane. You know, so I was
That's
watching
good.
some behind the scenes on the way they do things, and so like for example, like cities, I thought they were filming at like actual cities. Now they're building these small cities, and just the way the cameras are angled makes them look like they're real cities. So
Gotcha.
yeah, man.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's those are good. I like what you said, Space Jam. Then you said Gladiator, and then yeah, Avengers. That's cool. So mine, mine are the Joker.
Which one?
Um, the most recent one with
Oh, with
Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah, that was a
Yeah,
great one.
Joker, Silence by Martin Scorsese,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and then the total like from left field is Pride and Prejudice with Keira Knightley. I just really enjoy that movie.
What?
Yeah,
You know
so
what
Pride
other
and
movie? What other movie is great too? The Pursuit of Happiness, man. The
oh, that's good.
story about the story behind it is just the way the way they told it. Like it was just insane. And until this day, that movie still impacts people.
That is, yeah. All right, so KJ called me out earlier. Well, actually, I called myself out. This is all live. My camera just died. That's why you can't see me. So I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna switch batteries real quick. We were talking about favorite movies and Esau being a director, but you're also a drummer. So tell us a little bit about the genre of music that you prefer or that you really listen to that aspires you to move forward.
Oh, definitely, man. I love I love Spanish rock, Mexican rock. For example, Mana is like my favorite. They're actually the reason why I got into music. Um, the lyrics and just the creativity these guys carry. Um, I listen to George Strait, um, Bricks and Dunn. I listen to pretty much every genre of music because I feel and I think you can learn something, a little something from different areas. So especially when you're trying to create, when you go to the studio and you try to create something, it's always good to have references from different genres so you don't get like they call it writer's block. Um, so yeah, man, I listen to pretty much everything from heavy rock to classics like Frank Sinatra, and I pretty much listen to everything, man.
That's good. Yeah, I think it's good to have an eclectic taste as a creative person because then you have I've heard one person call it an encyclopedia of
Mm,
knowledge.
yeah,
For those of us who
yes.
are old enough to remember what encyclopedias are before Wikipedia came out, an
What is that?
encyclopedia
Yeah.
is just a collection of books from A through XYZ,
Mm-hmm.
and it has all this information in there. And the more the more genre of music or video or whatever, just things in general in life, you have so much more to pull from as a creative
Yeah.
individual. And it's so important to have. And we were just talking about you as far as being a drummer, videographer, photographer, and then you just use those skill sets to
Hmm.
move different creative projects forward.
Right.
So I knew you first as a drummer. Then I found
Hmm.
out you were a videographer and photographer. Now I know
Yeah.
you have direct skills as being a director and entrepreneur. What are some hidden talents that you might want to share with us live?
Man, I can cook some mean steaks, man.
Oh man.
Yeah, I can cook. I can throw down a little bit. What else do I have? Um, I mean, I write music. I've written for other people. I have a single out, that I dropped back
Oh,
in 2016, I believe.
nice. Is it on
So
Spotify or anything?
yeah, yeah. So it's on Spotify, on iTunes.
Oh,
So you can
sweet.
just find it as EV Drums Edis.
Okay.
And
Cool.
yeah, so yeah, man, I'm kind of like an onion. The more you peel, the more layers you have.
You quoting
So
Shrek over here?
yeah, yeah, yeah. That was a good one, man. Yeah, but I enjoy cooking, man. I enjoy cooking. So it's a stress reliever. Um, I used to be able to paint and draw when I was a kid.
Okay.
I haven't done that in, oh man, years. But I think another one is I'm good at. What am I good at? Oh yeah, I'm good at like shooting games. I'm
Okay.
a bit of a little gamer. I don't say it to people, but yeah, I like video games.
Was that your wife laughing in the background?
Yeah, she's watching me in the back.
Let's call her out like that. All right,
Yeah.
all right. You said shooting games. Man, it's been a while since I played any kind of shooting game. What are you like a? Well, let me start here. Are you Xbox or PlayStation?
Man, I'm PlayStation man.
All
I'm assuming you're
right.
an Xbox guy.
I'm a Nintendo dude.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure, for
I'm
sure.
I got toddlers. I can't allow Xbox or PlayStation in right now. I got to keep it
Oh
with the
yeah,
kid.
that's a great investment, bro. The Switch is a great investment, man.
It's
I
huge.
always tell people it's such a great investment.
It's so man. If you're going on a road trip, you just get the
Hmm.
Switch off the dock and you take
Exactly.
it. You take it with you. Just make sure it's fully charged. So back to the shooting games. You're on PlayStation. What's your game of choice?
Call of Duty, man.
Which one?
Dude, the new. Well, actually, all of them. To be honest, all of them. Uh, Modern Warfare, Black Ops. I like them all, man. I like them all. The
So
zombies.
to reveal how long it's been since I played a shooting game, my favorite shooting game, because I haven't played them in such a long time, would be Halo.
That's
I
been
had
years, bro.
Yeah, it's been about 10 years, man. It's been a
Yeah,
long time. I'm horrible at shooting games,
bro. I
and I
remember. I remember when that game came out. People were going insane for it, and then I look at it because I still have. I still have an Xbox somewhere, and so I remember going back and looking at like the graphics, comparing them to now. It's like, what the heck? We were so excited about this. Now you could literally see like sweat dripping down the character's face.
yeah,
It's
it's crazy.
insane.
So the camping games with the shooting games, is it called camping when you just stay in one spot?
Yeah, camping. Yeah.
Are you a camper?
Nah, man. Nah, I go into the action. I go
I'm a
into the
camper, man.
action.
I would
Well,
just sit
actually,
there.
it depends. It depends who I'm playing with. So there is this game. It's a mobile game, but it started off as a PC game,
Mhm.
and then I think it's on PlayStation, I believe. It's called PUBG. I'm like obsessed with that game right now.
What is that? I've heard a lot of people talk about that. I have
So
no idea what that
PUBG
is.
is a first player game, but it's
Okay.
also a third player, so you can see the whole character moving.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so I pretty much got Angry Ben's worship team on it. And so we spent like crazy amount of hours. I don't even want to say how many hours during the time where we were all off, because there was a time when we all thought we had COVID. We all had like a whole week, and we're like, all right, now we're gonna play this forever. And so we were stay up to like 2, 3 in the morning, bro, and my wife would kick me because I'm over here, she's trying to fall asleep, and I'm playing all loud. So this game is like I'm obsessed with it right now. Um, so for you guys, if you like this game, hit me up on there, man.
Are you gonna go ahead and give him your username or whatever?
Yeah,
On
so
there?
it's just Esau 92,
There you
Esau
go.
Vazquez 92.
Is
So
it
that's
called
my tag
PUBG?
name. Yeah, it's on PUBG. Uh huh.
PUBG. And that's on. You said it's a PC game or it's on PlayStation as well.
So it's on PC, but I play the mobile game, so it's on your phone. But
Okay,
it's
okay, okay.
crazy because the graphics are just like if you're playing it on a console. It's insane
Gotcha.
how far technology has come.
Yeah, I remember. I guess it was around the time that you said that you got the rest of the team on there. That KJ asked me to get on. I was like, no, I'm not. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna get on. I'm not gonna get on anything that you're trying to get me onto.
Yeah, Cage is wild, man.
Yeah, man. So anyone listening right now, if you're watching on YouTube, or I guess you're watching on YouTube, that's where this is airing.
Yeah.
Comment and tell us if you're Xbox or if you're a PlayStation person. I'm interested in seeing. I know there's a
Or
little
if you
feud
play
going on there.
PUBG on mobile.
Or if you play PUBG again, like I said, I'm a Nintendo Switch person. Have you? So you know obviously if you experienced Nintendo Switch, what would be
Mhm.
your favorite game on Nintendo Switch, or the one you
Oh
prefer to
man,
play?
Smash Brothers,
I
hands
haven't
down.
even I haven't played that on Switch yet. I have not
Oh,
played that
dude,
on
you gotta
Switch.
play it. My wife is obsessed with Animal Crossing.
I totally forgot about that game.
Man,
We've been playing.
I don't see
Have
the
you
point in that game, man. To be honest with you,
have you played Overcooked?
is that the one where you're making like the burgers?
Yeah, you're making food.
Oh yeah, I've seen. I've never played it, but I've seen it.
Man, that game. So for those of you listening who haven't played it, you're pretty much in it. Think about Hell's Kitchen,
Okay.
and you got orders and you got to make the food. So if it's a burger, you got to make a burger, and you have depending on how many people you're playing solo, you're playing multiplayer. You have different stations. You have someone's cooking the meat, chopping up the cheese or
Ooh,
whatever, and then you make the burger. There's a timer, and you got to send the order out. It's a really fun and intense game. But as you progress through the game,
it's
the
harder.
kit, the kitchens change. Like sometimes there's these conveyor belts that move. There's these
Uh-huh.
rats that come and steal food. There's these
Oh
zombies that
yeah.
are trying to attack the restaurant. It's a fun game, especially if you have it kind of feels like Mario Party,
Oh yeah, that's
where
a
we
great
have that
game.
multiplayer action going
Yeah.
on, and then like I said, we have a 7, 3, and 2 year old, so we just love having clean. We're not shooting each other, but
Right.
we're making burgers. Um, hey, what's up, Sammy? I see you there. That PC is all about PC gaming. Yeah, it's a good game. So they're really into Overcooked, Mario Maker,
Mm,
and Pokemon. Of course, you gotta
Pokemon.
gotta go with Pokemon.
Man, I
Yeah,
still remember the one from the Game Boy. The
yeah, red
Pokemon
and
from the
blue.
Game Boy. Yeah.
Pokemon Red and Blue.
Oh yeah, man. Those were.
I remember
You had to
whenever
put it up to the light because they couldn't see no more after a certain time. Yeah.
when Red and Blue came out, I asked for a Game Boy for my birthday, and it was when the Game Boy had released. They had gone away from the gray Game Boy, and they had produced the multicolor.
Oh yeah.
Like the blue, the green,
Hmm.
all that. I asked for a Game Boy, and the only one they had left was a pink Game Boy. So I got stuck with a pink Game Boy. My first Game Boy was pink.
I had the what was it? My first Game Boy was the Game Boy Color. I think it was like
Mm-hmm.
a purple one. And then what was the other one? What was the long one? The Game Boy Advanced.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh, but man, those games were like they're classics. Man, I'll still go back and play them.
Yeah. My all-time favorite game. Let's say we got about 6 more minutes. My all-time favorite game on Nintendo, just in anything, is the series Zelda.
Oh
That
yeah. Oh
is
heck yes.
that is my
Yeah.
favorite game. Any Zelda game. Unfortunately, though, I haven't been on playing any games, so I haven't played the most
The
recent
newest
one.
one.
Yeah, I told my wife. She said, "Hey, do you want to get it?" I was like, "Yes," but I know if I get it, I'm not gonna do anything else. So
Yeah.
we're not gonna get it because I'll be stuck on there. Like you said with PUBG, I'll just be stuck on Zelda. You know.
Yeah, man. If I play PUBG, that's it, man. That's I'm on there for like hours.
With so, are you? when it comes to games, are you someone that uses the strategy guide if there's one available?
I don't want to lie and say no, but I've used it sometimes, especially like for Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That game is hard, man. So I went on YouTube and I just pretty much downloaded all of the kicks and moves that they do, and I'm still getting whooped. How I don't
That's one.
know. Yeah.
I bring that up because I don't know if you're still watching or listening, Sammy. Uh, my friend Sammy, who at least he's on the comments. In high school, we both had an intent 64,
Mhm.
and hold on, I gotta show this real quick. Let me see. There we go. So Sammy's telling me to tell y'all the
Tell them the
story of what happened,
story.
and I got 4 minutes, so I'm about to say it. I'm about to say what happened. So Sammy and I we bought Majora's Mask, and we would trade it. One week I'd get it, the other week he'd get it. One week I'd get it, the other week he'd get it. Um, and we were trying to see, who could beat it first. I beat it first, and I was bragging about it. And then later, I told him I beat it because I had bought the strategy guide, and I was just going
Oh,
through with with
yeah.
the strategy guide. So yeah, I cheated, and there's no fun in trying to beat a game with a strategy guide because
Oh,
tell me
yeah,
what it
for
go.
sure.
But I confess, I've done it live
Yeah,
on
I've done it.
YouTube.
I'm not gonna lie. I've done it a couple times.
It's the sin of every gamer to use a strategy guide before even doing it by yourself. Man,
Yeah.
that's good. That is good, man. I'm so glad that you were here on the
Yes,
show. I
man.
really appreciate
Thank
it.
you for
And for
having me,
those of
man.
you, yeah, man, anytime, I'm really excited to see what you and the team are doing with Aspire Warehouse
Yes.
Music. For those of you who just joined us again, Esau and his team, they're doing some great things with Aspire Warehouse Music. Check them out on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. They're producing some great music, some great video. And before we leave, I'm going to show the video, and then we'll have you and the rest of the team on later on. I think we'll probably aim for next month. But Esau,
Yeah.
thanks again for being on the
Man,
show.
thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, man, it's been great. So here, check it out again. The highlight reel from Aspire Warehouse Studios.